Hello, Airbus Cockpit Coach here, and welcome to the channel. I'm a real-world Airbus captain flying the A320 series of aircraft, and in this video we're going to look at the required time of arrival function, or RTA page, inside our MCDUs. We're currently in the cruise, flight level 370, on our way down to Corfu, and we're using the Phoenix A319, which has recently had the EFU update. So where do we find the RTA function? Come down to our look-do. So we're currently in the F page. To find it, you'll want to come to the flight plan page, and you'll find it within the vertical revision, which is found using the right select keys against any waypoint. Let's look at TEPRI today, and we'll use that as a bit of a test to show its functionality. So again, coming to that page, you'll see RTA over here on the right side. And it's worth pointing out, when the aircraft is on the ground, you'll also see ETT available within this page, which is the estimated takeoff time. I do have another video on that, talking that through, so do check that out if you want to understand the estimated takeoff time function. In the cruise, it's obviously not available, but we do have RTA here. From my experience in the real world, this is most commonly used to speed up and slow down aircraft for traffic flow, air traffic control purposes, just ensuring congestion in certain spots is minimised, and they can properly plan and know when to expect aircraft at certain points. Now on the RTA page, you'll see we have the waypoint we've selected, the distance to go to that waypoint, our managed speed, our active mode for speed, which is currently managed. We've got the current ETA for the TEPRI waypoint over here, and we have the current time in UTC below. Now, it's rare that air traffic control will give us a very specific time to arrive at a waypoint, so it's unlikely, and I'm trying to recall if I've ever had it, that they'll say, right, you must arrive at that waypoint at exactly 8:10 UTC. It's usually before or after time. Our ETA is currently 8:07, not 8:08 now, it's looking around a little bit. But let's say they want us there before 8:10. Air traffic control want to be sure that we're going to arrive at TEPRI before 8:10, just so they can plan traffic flow. The time is entered for RTA as hours, minutes, seconds. We do not need to enter any dots, dashes, anything between the time as we input it, so simply 081000. That's 8:10 UTC. Now, I'm just going to take that back out. If we want to be there before 8:10 UTC, we simply use the minus function. So that indicates before. Or if we want to be after, we would use plus, select plus. So that's something a lot of people aren't aware of, so that's important. This would be commonly used when we use this function. As I said, it's very unlikely we'll get a specific time. So minus 081000, and we put that in, and we do insert. So we have the time error TEPRI message. Temporarily flashed up. Thought there was an issue, I believe, but there shouldn't be an issue with that because the aircraft was targeting a before time anyway. So if we were to have a problem with that time now, we would get the error message come up. So RTA error message we just saw flash up there, and we'll get a time displayed in amber, which is how much we're going to miss that target by. So we can either take action in terms of our speed, or speak to ATC and let them know. Let's put a time in now that's going to be unachievable. So we're currently expecting a TEPRI at 8:08. Let's say we want to be there after 8:20, for example. So plus 08 2000. Write that in. So you see we've got time error at TEPRI, so that's the message we will receive if we were not going to make that RTA time. So that's what we would see, and it would alert us to the fact that we need to either speak to our traffic control, take some kind of action with speed, or course even. So We clear that out and we come in and we take a look at what the damage is. So there's our RTA error, and we're going to be missing that required restriction of being there after 8:20 by 12 minutes. Unfortunately, the Airbus cannot hover, and it'd be very difficult to meet that restriction, so that would be one occasion we'll be speaking to air traffic controller. So that's how that is displayed. Now, RTA uses cost index to manage the aircraft's speed and try and meet these targets. So if you come into the performance page, you'll see that we have cost index RTA cost index in there. You will notice as you put in different times, your target speed in magenta here, it will vary as the cost index changes. That's obviously limited in terms of how much movement there is there, and depending where you are in terms of altitude and all those things. That's what it's using to manage those targets, or trying to reach those targets. If I was put in a much earlier times, we're going to be there at 8:07. Let's say we want to be there before 8:06. Just looking now where the magenta speed target is. Insert. There you go. It's jumped right up to try and meet that target. No error message yet, so it's going to work out what it can do. Currently going to miss it by 1 minute 26, although the aircraft's still accelerating, so it will try and sort itself out, but we may get the error message on that shortly. We can't make any speed adjustments through this page. It's simply the RTA time that we can enter, or ETT if you're on the ground as well. Obviously, to meet just a flat time restriction, so if it was 8:10, we would just not put the plus or minus in and throw that in. Now the aircraft is decelerating, as we put a bit of a later time in there, but again we're going to miss that time. So it gives us a reference in terms of how we're doing in terms of that RTA. If we need to clear that out, it's simply clear and select RTA in blue at the top, insert, and that will clear out your RTA time. It's not an often used function in the real world, but it does come up as a request from ATC from time to time. If you have any questions on that, please drop them into the comments and I'll do my best to answer those. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.